lot of his supporters believe that we are the enemy of the American people, and that is really, really an awful situation. We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people. We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people. We love the American people. We love the American people.
They came in peace.
We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people.
This is CNN.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
It's Wednesday night. It's 8:15 Central. Alex Jones here live. The reason I'm going live is we have two particular pieces of bizarre news that are important that are up on Infowars.com, Newswars.com, and PrisonPlanet.com. And one of those is shock video, Catholic vampire priest attacks baby. And this just shows, I'm not against the Catholics, I'm not against Christians, I'm a Christian. It's that these corrupt globalists have gotten control of major institutions, and he's like slapping the baby in front of the parents, and the parents are getting back in their face. The video, you've got to watch it in slow-mo on Infowars.com. It's just crazy. This Nosferatu-looking, bizarre, crazy old man with the husband and the young, beautiful wife with the baby, and he's slapping the baby in the face hard. I mean, you hear the slap. So that's coming up first here. And then I want to look at some of the other news that's been unfolding. And I want to look at some of the media spin that's taking place. But first, watch this video that's up on Infowars.com from Italy for yourself, because you've got the Pope, the deputy Pope, indicted for running over 100 little kids they kidnapped. You've got all the satanic stuff in the Vatican. You've got all this weirdness. And it's like now the Pope says, open Europe up to Muslims and open it up to North Africa and accept world government. And, families are bad and Europe's bad. These are the globalists that are trying to just wreck society like they're run by some satanic off-world force to destroy humanity. It's truly insane. So here is that footage. Then we've got the Inspector General, Horowitz, and footage from yesterday that nobody's covered, where he admits that the whole investigation was fake, that it's a fraud. It's incredible. That's coming up. But first, ladies and gentlemen, here is a senior Catholic priest in Italy abusing a baby, in my opinion, right in front of their parents. Here it is.
C'est un caprice, ça s'appelle un caprice. Je vais faire couler de l'eau sur le front du juge, et après, on va embrasser le bonhomme, parce qu'il sera devenu un petit chrétien. Oh là 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 là. Je tirerai plus fort que toi. Alors, Lucas. Il faut se calmer. Tu vas te calmer. Voilà. Tu vas te calmer. Voilà.
And so the father, we want to see the rest of the video. Nobody seems to have it. Pulls the baby away, pushes the demon creature away. Now, let's be clear. I left today at about 9 a.m. at my house in Central Austin. And my 13-month-old daughter didn't want me to go, and she crawled and then sat up and walked and said, "No, Dad, don't go. Bye-bye, don't go." And she cried. And so I went back in the house and hugged her and said bye again. So we get that children cry and they do this. But this creepy Catholic priest slaps. You can hear the baby. And the father and the mother grab the baby away from this demon creature. And so my point is, control freaks and weirdos, they want the symbol of Christ. They want the power of priesthood. They want the power of the office. Whether they're Protestant, Catholic, it doesn't matter. They seek that position. So it doesn't mean that every priest is bad or every pastor is bad. It means you've got to watch them and not just hold them up and let them do whatever they want. Because this old crazy guy, you can hear it in the video. I don't know if you caught that, but I turned the audio up earlier in my own office before I did this report. I mean, you can hear like the baby's like, ah, like, shut the hell up. That is crazy. And the father grabs the baby away. I'm not saying I'm Mr. Badass, but I'd have been, I'm sorry. That's what it comes down to. So the video's on Infowars.com. Shocked video, Catholic vampire priest attacks baby. When I say vampire, it's just this whole culture of being a jerk to this baby. And the father and the mother see what's happening, and they say no, and they take action. Now, let's move on to the next subject, and that is Inspector General Horowitz, who is the only person in the Justice Department. I'm not trying to glorify him. I've just been watching it. Not who Trump appointed to be the AG, not Sessions, not any of these other people, not McCabe, none of these Clinton operatives. But this guy at least will go before Congress and say there's a fraud going on. It's political. It's a lie. And it's been such a huge story. But the Democrats have had, oh, my God, you've got millions of people trying to get into the U.S. from collapsing Latin America, and they get put in detention centers. And you don't put kids in general population with pedophiles. They spin all that like Trump's being mean to kids. But he signed an executive order to have some new thing with social workers or something where they put the parents, even if they can't prove they're the parents, there's no ID. Okay, you say they're parents, we'll put you in a jail cell with them. And I'm sure some kids will get raped or whatever, and then it'll be Trump's fault. But whatever. Trump has gone along with that, and I probably agree with it just to shut down all the propaganda. But here is Trump trying to expose this whole thing, and you've got them demonizing all of this, and then you've got the Inspector General of the Justice Department there saying, yeah, no one's ever been this biased. They set it up to go after Trump, to stop him being elected once he was elected, to stop him from getting seated as the president. I mean, this is a coup against America. This is admitted. And the smokescreen is Trump's being mean to migrant kids that Obama and everybody said, come on down, come here. And so Trump just neutralized that. And I think it's a smart move, actually, because he has no choice under federal law. Let them loose like Obama did to all these child traffickers, or vet who they are and check them out. He's like, okay, I'll sign an executive order to try to, like, somebody says they're their parents, even though there's 1,000 people we just grabbed, or 500 or whatever, literally 1,000 a day sometimes. Damn, we'll let people that claim that their parents stay with them, and we'll watch them and get them interviewed and try to fix it. But I mean, imagine that. So here he is, Horowitz, who I'm not lionizing, but compared to Sessions and compared to Strzok and compared to McCabe, I mean, he did some good testimony. He told the truth. So thank God they've got an Inspector General that the watchdog of the Justice Department is admitting what's happening. So here's a few minutes of that testimony today.
Inspector General Horowitz, I want to go back for a couple of minutes on the issue of intent. I mean, am I correct? Is that your understanding from what Jim Comey said, that the missing element was some element of intent that he was reading into the statute?
That's what he said. I think what the prosecutors were looking at was knowledge. And
knowledge of the wrongfulness of her conduct, or knowledge that her arrangement with herself may have allowed classified information to traverse her server.
Knowledge that classified information actually did transit through her server.
All right.
Because of the absence of markings.
Well, the questions I have for you are equally applicable, whether the missing intent is knowledge or intent. Can you think of a better way to determine what an actor knew than to ask the actor what he or she knew? Am I missing some better repository of evidence than to actually interview the target or the suspect yourself?
I would say there could be instances where there would be better evidence, like contemporaneous recordings, as opposed to the interview where the person might not be candid, but
I'm not aware of those in this case, but perhaps you know
Correct.
something I do not.
No, I'm not, but I'm just saying you asked hypothetically, is there a better way to get evidence of someone's state of mind? It might
Given
be-
the evidentiary restrictions in this case,
Correct.
can you think of any better way to resolve that issue of knowledge than to actually interview the target herself?
No, I think you would want to interview the target herself.
All right. And what would you ask the target? You were a highly decorated federal prosecutor from one of the most prestigious districts in the country. What would you ask the defendant if you were trying to determine whether or not that person, that suspect, had knowledge?
Well, you'd certainly want to start at the beginning, which is why did the server come to be set up? What was the rationale behind it? What did you understand it would be used for? Questions like that, because so much of it would be focused on what the intent, rationale, thinking was behind creating your own separate server or domain name from the outset.
If multiple explanations had been given in the past on that very issue, would you ask the suspect or the target to reconcile those different explanations?
Presumably, you would ask the subject during the interview in any area where there might be differing reports of testimony or recollections.
If there have been false exculpatory statements made in connection with a fact pattern, would you ask the target or the suspect to explain those false exculpatory statements?
I think if you were interviewing any witness, you would want to ask them about information that was out there that would suggest there was a false exculpatory.
When I use the phrase consciousness of wrongdoing, what does that mean to you?
That means you have an awareness, perhaps unstated, that the conduct that you've engaged in is wrongful in some way.
What about concealment?
Well, that can mean, I guess, different things depending on the nature of the concealment. It can be active, it can be passive at some level, but it's keeping something from somebody else. And, we have a concern here about concealment on what happened in connection with July 5th.
How about the destruction of evidence?
Again, that can be personal, or it can be knowing that someone else is going to do it, but it is obviously destroying evidence or information that has evidentiary value.
I guess what I'm kind of struggling with a little bit, I was actually asked over the weekend whether or not I think she should have been charged. I can't answer that question because I don't think she was interviewed properly. And it's very difficult to go back and conduct a proper interview after one has already been botched. Did you see all of the questions that you and I just went over in the 302? Were all of those asked of her during that July interview?
I think one of the concerns that's been raised is that a 302 only being a summary of what was said, that there isn't a transcript or other more definitive report on precisely all the questions and answers. So we have a summary, and that's what we're working off of that. It's an extensive summary, but it's still not a transcript.
I got one guy running the crew tonight. 10 people should be running the thing this big. Jesus Christ, we just want America. We just want free market. We just want to be left alone. We just want to have the country back. And all these assholes are in control. And so Horowitz is basically there saying that. And the guy's on the spot, but at least he is telling the truth about what's going on. That this is crazy town. I mean, the voters voted for Trump, and then a bunch of Democrats hired hundreds of provocateurs, government operatives, FBI informants to go out to every level of the Trump campaign and go, hey, I'm a Russian. We want to F America. Or people are like, what are you talking about? And like, we're Russian agents, so we want to do all this. People are like, what are you talking about? And now America's back, the economy's back, everything's back. The Chinese globalists are panicking, everybody's panicking, and then they just keep going back to, you have screwed over people, you are a globalist agent. No, you are the globalist agent. You people struck, and I mean, they $2 million to their wives. There's 4 FBI agents that paid $2 million total to their wives to create a dossier that a retarded person could write. And that's what I'm getting at here. It's like, even I was a sociopath, even I was a bad person, why do you have a hard-on against America? America would give you anything you wanted. Why do you have a hard-on against it? And I can't answer that, man. Big banks hired a bunch of people. They create a litmus test. You got to hate America. China funds it. A bunch of U.S. intelligence funds China to do it because they'll go along with it. And then they want to like piss on Christians and gun owners and veterans because it's some weird existential cock measuring thing for the average leftist. Let me tell you something. I mean, I'm not bragging, but I come from some people that burn stuff down. I mean, some people that create countries, that defeat British royalty, that defeat Santa Anna, that like kill people, you know? And you people sit there and you like mess with me and my family like I'm a piece of crap and I'm afraid of you. I'm going to destroy you. That's what I do. I just want prosperity, and you want to start a fight with me? You want to start a fight with people that are ready to die? All because you're SJWs? You have no idea what you've even messed with, what you've even triggered. But let me tell you, in the great scheme of the universe, you were designed to do this. Because those of us that love God, we're not looking for trouble. We're not looking to prove ourselves. We're not looking to be the guy with the biggest cock. But when you start the fight with us, we're going to stand up to you. We're going to start swinging for the fences. We're going to kick your ass. I look at these old, bizarre globalists that have taken over the Catholic Church, and I look at everything else you've done. I just thank God I came from free-willed people that don't submit to you. So at 8:33 at night, I'm going to end this transmission. But I'm going to commit to humanity to fight you people. And I'm going to commit just the average folks out there that we don't have to live like this. But you look at the delusion of the globalists and the fact that they thought that America and the West and Christianity and everything was scared of them. We weren't scared, you idiots. We were asleep. And now you've punched us in the face enough to get us awake. And all we want to do now is run you into the ground because you woke us up, because we are in the dream. We're transcending. We're building new planets. And you think you can attack us? You think you can threaten us and make us roll over when you've never dreamed anything? You guys have not had a dream in your lives. If you ever had a real dream, if you ever had a conscious moment, you would never do this to your people. God, I've had the globalists tell me 20 years ago, we'll give you $10 million a year. We'll make you Glenn Beck before he existed. Just F over humanity. What does $1 billion in the bank do if they got to pull my eyes out of my face? What does $1 billion do if I got to fuck my own children over? I will never fuck anybody over for your bullshit. So, know this. You're going to fail. And you're not going to stop anything we're doing. And when humanity's done, we won't be in 1,000 galaxies. We'll be in 1 trillion galaxies. And you're not going to stop any of that. Our march is divine. It's confirmed. And it is victorious. And we have already seen the mind of God. And all you Satanists and all the rest of you, you're going to be damned to hell forever with your own spirit. So I'm done talking tonight, but I came in here because I had an important message for you. When you awaken to the spirit of the universe, there's not even a debate. There's not even a discussion. There's not even a question of what side people are on. You want life? And all that means for eternity. And every permutation of free will. Life is free will. Or you join Satan and these losers. That's what I'm saying. And you look at some demonic freakazoid priest in front of a man, a good-looking man, a good-looking woman, coming in with their baby, thinking they're getting the kiss of life. They realize they got the kiss of death. And it's at that moment we open the entire universe and everything begins to turn. All right. It was 3 hours ago I called Rob Dew and said I was coming in. I'm going to get him back to his family. He's in there running this live feed. Lord willing, I'll be here tomorrow with look at that badass. Look at that control room. Look at that. Look at that white light. That is amazing. God, I'm so glad I get to fight evil. Jesus, you are my God. I'm totally committed. And I understand there's going to be a lot to pay, a lot of price to pay. But that's what men do, huh? Yes. It's an easy price to pay. And that's why Hillary calls InfoWars, not just me, the dark heart, but because I believe in you forever. For 1 trillion years and 1 trillion beyond that, infinity. I believe in people. I believe in children. I believe in God. And you can't take that away ever. My goodwill, the fact that I'm a good soul, you'll never take my will. All right, that's it for this live transmission. We'll see you back, Lord willing, tomorrow. Live. Infowars.com/news.
I guess different things depending on the nature of the concealment. It can be active, it can be passive at some level, but it's keeping something from somebody else. And, you know, we have a concern here about concealment on what happened in connection with July 5th.
How about the destruction of evidence?
Again, that can be personal. Or it can be knowing that someone else is going to do it, but it is obviously destroying evidence or information that has evidentiary value.
I guess what I'm kind of struggling with a little bit, I was actually asked over the weekend whether or not I think she should have been charged. I can't answer that question because I don't think she was interviewed properly. And it's very difficult to go back and conduct a proper interview after one has already been botched. Did you see all of the questions that you and I just went over in the 302? Were all of those asked of her during that July interview?
I think one of the concerns that's been raised is that a 302 only being a summary of what was said, that there isn't a transcript or other more definitive report on precisely all the questions and answers. So we have a summary. and that's what we're working off of that. It's an extensive summary, but it's still not a transcript.
Well, given the fact that you and I agree that actually talking to the witness, the suspect, the target might be, absent a contemporaneous recording, some of the better evidence on knowledge and intent, how in the hell was Jim Comey able to draft an exoneration press release 6 weeks before that interview took place?
I think it's clear from looking at what we uncovered that by that point in time, they had largely concluded what they had concluded.
But my question is, if what you're missing was knowledge and or intent, and the single best repository for that evidence is the person you've yet to talk to, how in the hell can you make that conclusion?
I think I'll give you what the answer was that we got back, which was, of course, we kept open the possibility that we would find some evidence that would change that view. That was the explanation we were given.
If that were true, did you find drafts of inculpatory press releases?
We did not.
You found no memos or drafts where he had decided to charge her?
That's correct. We were told, by the way, by the prosecutors, as you see here, that they did not draft anything until after the interview, precisely because they wanted to wait before making a final judgment for the interview.
Isn't that what we normally do? Wait until the last interview is... It's my last question I'll have for you. Back when you did trial work, do you remember the judge ever admonishing the jury that you are not to make up your mind until the last witness has testified and the last piece of evidence has been introduced? Do you remember the jury ever being told that by a judge?
Not only do I remember that as a prosecutor, but I actually served on a jury last year. So I remember that from the judge's instruction.
It's kind of one of the basic precepts of our justice system is that you wait until it's over before you draw a conclusion. And I am just dumbfounded that Director Comey would draft a press release and cite the missing element when the single best repository of potential evidence on that element had yet to be talked to. I find that stunning. But I'm also stunningly out of time. So I'll go to the judge.
My understanding is that you went out with this protector of yours.
Yes.
Went out, in fact, and helped in the confiscation of property from the Jews.
That's right.
Was it difficult?
Not at all. Not at all. Maybe as a child you don't see the connection. It created no problem at all.
No feeling of guilt.
No. Well, actually, in a funny way, it's just like in markets that if I weren't there, somebody else would be taking it away anyhow. In other words, whether I was there or not, the property was being taken away. So I had no sense of guilt.
Defending the Republic from enemies, foreign and domestic. It's Alex Jones.
A lot of his supporters believe that we are the enemy of the American people, and that is really, really an awful situation. We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people. We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people. We love the American people. We love the American people.
They came in peace.
We are not the enemy of the American people. We love the American people.
This is CNN. If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.